Hey travelers, it's Flora Nastasi, and today I am in beautiful Staunton, Virginia. Staunton, Virginia is less than 3 hours away from Washington, D.C. It is about less than an hour drive to Charlottesville, Virginia. And it's nestled right in the middle of the Shenandoah Valley. And if anybody has ever visited the Shenandoah Valley, you already know it's a hiker's heaven, it's a wine lover's dream, and it's a foodie paradise. So today I'm going to be giving you some do's and don'ts when visiting the Queen City. One of the first don'ts: please, whatever you do, do not call this city Staunton. If you call the place Staunton, everybody will look at you like a tourist, and everybody will know you are definitely not local. It is pronounced Staunton. Staunton. Say it with me now. Staunton. And one way you can remember this is just think like standing up. Stan and like onion. So Staunton. That's all it is. Please don't make this more complicated than it needs to be. Another don't. Please don't use Uber when you come to Staunton. You don't need it. Unless you're going way far out, past Richmond Road, out into Augusta County, you really don't need it. Everything in central downtown is walkable. However, if you do need to get around, say to the park, just grab the green trolley. It's 25 cents per trip, per way. It runs 6 days a week. I will put down below the hours it operates for the winter, but it's so much more economically friendly than having to take an Uber or a Lyft like you would in a bigger city. And you don't need to do that here. There's plenty of options to either walk to 90% of the attractions here or just take the trolley. I mean, it's really that simple here. The next do when visiting Staunton is make sure to check out all of the museums that the city has to offer. And there's a lot. There's at least 10 museums that are nationally recognized. Make sure to visit the Woodrow Wilson Presidential Library and Museum. If you do not know, President Wilson was the 28th president of the U.S. But he was also born in Staunton, Virginia. So if you go to that museum, it's pretty cool. You'll actually be able to see, not a replica, but I think it is the original Pierce Arrow limousine that Woodrow Wilson originally used to drive. And I think it was not the original inauguration in DC, but it definitely was his own personal vehicle, which the museum has completely restored, and it is one cool sight to see. So for all you photography nerds, if you enjoy photos and history, I definitely recommend checking out the Camera Heritage Museum right downtown. The cool thing about this museum is there are over 6,000 cameras on display, and housed in that collection, I talked to the curator, David Schwartz. They actually have one of the original Pearl Harbor cameras that were used by the Japanese. He actually has one of those in the collection. So you definitely want to go check that out as well. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more family-friendly type of museum, I definitely recommend going to the Frontier Culture Museum. So the cool thing about this unique museum is it takes visitors essentially back in time to tell the story of immigrants who migrated to early America. Now, this whole tour they give, it talks about how these immigrants survived, it tells their unique stories, and the museum actually does host live demonstrations of what life was like for these early settlers. And it shows at least 11 exhibits. I need to double check. Full action farms rebuilt to display the history. It's really, really cool, and it's a good educational experience. Definitely for the whole family, and it's pretty eye-opening. So I'll put all the information below about the Frontier Culture Museum down below. Now, if you enjoy classic cars, you have to go visit Bruce Elder's antique car collection right downtown. The museum, it houses cars from the dawn of motoring to through the muscle car grease-loving years. Tours are private now, I believe, and I will double check and I'll confirm that with you all below. But if you can get a little tour from Bruce Elder's son, it is definitely worth it. It's pretty cool. So when you're tired of museums, definitely another do when visiting Staunton is to visit one of the several storefronts and boutiques. There's something for everyone here. I mean, clock shops, home decor, high-end cigarettes, stationery, you name it. Even if you don't buy anything, just take a stroll down Main Street. I mean, it is so picturesque here, and I know you're going to take some Instagram pictures. and I can almost guarantee you, just because the backdrop here is so pretty. Also, I don't know how I forgot to mention this, make sure to check out some of the local coffee shops when you're visiting downtown. There's, I think, 3 to 4 of them right now. 2 of my favorites are going to be the By and By and Reunion. Reunion has fantastic pastries, whereas the By and By, they have probably one of the best dark roasts that I've had, at least in the state of Virginia. Now, switching back to a don't. You guys will like this one. Do not visit Staunton without visiting the Split Banana ice cream shop. So pretty much Split Banana, it's homemade gelato. They've been serving locals and tourists for over 15 years. I mean, this is a mom and pop operation. They started in 2008. Some of the best gelato you'll have in this area. It's a Staunton tradition, and you can't miss it, especially if you go to the Visualite Theater for a movie, and right after you grab yourself some strawberry gelato. You cannot beat that. Now, for another do make sure you go visit Gypsy Hill Park out on Churchill Avenue. This is a nearly 220-acre public park. It has baseball fields, walking paths, jogging paths, bike paths, tennis courts, but my favorite part of this park is that it has a huge duck pond, and yes, you can feed the ducks. So if you go over there and feed the ducks, make sure to tell them Florence said hi, because they see me at least once a week. All right, so another do is make sure to go visit the American Shakespeare Center. It's right next to the Stonewall Jackson Hotel. You can't miss it. So this center, it's a complete recreation of William Shakespeare's indoor theater. There's only like 2 in the world, including this one here in Staunton. The center, it hosts performances with at least 16 different titles and 5 seasons all year long, pretty much all or relating to William Shakespeare's work. Now, it is internationally recognized, of course, and it's one of those things where it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. If you come through Virginia, you kind of just have to go check it out. It's really cool. All right, and last but not least, one more do. If you have a little extra time in your Staunton trip and you have a car, drive out to Fishersville, Virginia, and go to Barren Vineyards. It's a very small vineyard in Augusta County, right out of the Staunton city limits. But the nice thing about this vineyard is not only is it a part of the Virginia Wine Trail, it is small, there's not many people there, it's not crowded, because if you go over about 30 minutes to Albemarle County, that is where the majority of the vineyards are, and everybody and their mother is there. Here at Barren Ridge, it's quiet, it's peaceful, you can actually hear yourself talk, you can hear the music, and it's just a really nice little vineyard. So I definitely suggest that when you come out and visit. Oh my gosh, I forgot one more thing, food. What is wrong with me? So if you are looking for something authentic when you come to Staunton for dinner or lunch, go to Gloria's Pupusas. They have some of the best Salvadorian food you're easily going to find in this area. They have amazing service. The owners are so nice, and the food is second to none. They have pupusas, of course, but they have tamales, chicharron. They have so many different items, and they're also a locally owned business, so you can't get much better than that. Well, everyone, I hope this little Staunton video helped you out a little bit for your travels. Whether you have visited Staunton or you're going to visit Staunton, I hope this video was informative in some way, shape, or another. Have you visited Staunton? If you have, let me know down below. I would love to hear how your trip went. And if you guys want to learn more about Staunton or any other little areas in Virginia, let me know. I live around here, so I'd be happy to share all of my knowledge with you all. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.